Portland for yet another night. Since protests erupted back in May following the death of George Floyd, we've seen a bit of a pattern emerge.
Yeah, two very different groups are hitting the streets and frustrations are mounting for those trying to send a message of peace. Fox 12's CAMILA ORTI joins us live with more on that. CAMILA?
Yeah, well, Wayne, Nora, first, a quick update on the group we've kind of been keeping tabs on tonight here in North Portland. Take a look. Very small group, maybe about 30 people gathered outside of the PPA building right now here off of North Lombard. But they met over at Arbor Lodge Park a little earlier this evening, kind of marched around the area. And based on some social media feeds, seeing the group actually stopped by City Commissioner Dan Ryan's house and then kind of continued on and again regathered here outside of the PPA building. But a very small group. We haven't seen any violence or any acts like that. But again, some social media feeds indicating some anger there towards Commissioner Dan Ryan. And like you mentioned, protests are still happening, but organizers of peaceful demonstrations that continue to call for systemic changes and justice say they feel they're getting lumped in with what small groups of destructive people are doing. Two groups, two starkly different images taking place over the course of one night. On Wednesday, while a couple hundred people gathered at Revolution Hall for an event organized by Defend Democracy Coalition to support the election process and demand every vote be counted in the presidential race, a much smaller group met at the North Park blocks to march in the streets and eventually smash downtown business windows.
It's sad when a few people have their own agenda and distract from what we're really trying to do.
That's Destiny Houston, who co-organized Wednesday's peaceful demonstration, which led protesters over the Morrison Bridge to Waterfront Park.
There's so much beauty that has come from the protests with the mutual aid and just the signs and marching across the bridge. So much togetherness, so much community showing up for each other.
Houston says overshadowing all of that is the separate vandalism that's taking place.
If you are thinking you're doing something positive for Black Lives Matter, you're not. If you have your own agenda, we need you to not be part of this group.
She's calling on all activists and allies at protests to call out this behavior and asks people on the outside looking in to not make any assumptions.
Let's find out who caused that destruction. Let's find out and not blanket it to everyone.
State and local leaders as well as law enforcement have been trying to make this distinction as well. I heard from Unified Command today. A Multnomah County Sheriff's Office spokesperson told me officers can't prevent any individuals from gathering and exercising their rights, no matter what their intentions could be or their hidden intentions could be. They can only step in when criminal activity happens. And again, we've been keeping an eye on a very small group here in North Portland tonight. If you want to take one last look here, they're gathered outside of the PPA building, but it doesn't look like they're doing anything, just kind of standing around. So we'll continue to keep tabs on the situation and keep you posted throughout the night. For now, reporting live, CAMILA ORTI, Fox 12 Oregon.